Well, good morning, Steelers. A bit of a surprise live stream this morning. I just thought I'm just painting some stuff, so I'll probably just pop in for a little hour and see what is going on. Let me know if you can hear me out in listening land. Hopefully you can. I think it's all set up. It's been a while since I set up this. That had all this stuff set up. So if it is, if it's not coming through, then let me know. Say hello in chat, of course. Let me know who's out there if you are watching. As I say, a little bit of a surprise one, mostly because Tuesday I'll be at a funeral, so I'm not going to be really be in a reasonable state for live streaming that evening. I was planning on doing it, but things happen. So I thought Saturday morning I've got some stuff I want to finish off here, so I think I'm just going to crack on, see who turns up. First stream in a little while. Evening, Aled. Loud and clear, excellent. Painting more Germans, good stuff. Yeah, let me know what else other people are painting out there. What scale are they in, Aled? 15mm, 20mm, 28mm. Loud and clear, good stuff, excellent. Cracking. I thought that might have been I've just got a little glass of water here as well, so stay hydrated, kids. So first of all, well, mostly it's these LVTs, Buffaloes. These are the British version. I started painting them last night. 15mm. These were printed for me by Richard Hogg, who may or may not turn up in the chat, but he sent these quite a while ago, and I thought, I think it's probably time to get these done. The only thing I haven't got with these is crews, but I'm doing them as British ones for 1945 for crossing the Rhine. I've got some others as well, so I'm going to do those ones as 15mm for O Group, Flames of War, excellent, and Chain of Command, I hope. So I'm going to do these. These are being done for the British crossing the Rhine in 45, because I've got a load of British, so it may as well, and I've got a load of Germans, so I may as well use the two, hadn't I? Right, so I've got the base colours down on them. Really, at the moment, I'm just going to give them a dry brush, sort out the tracks, sort out the bases of these ones that are in the water, and do some weathering on them. So not a huge amount to do, and then they just need finishing off with the old spray. Just dropped the wife and kid at the station. 3 hours of free time. Guess I'll work in 28mm gangsters. Nice one. Good stuff. Good stuff. If there's anybody else out there watching, say hello. Let us know what you're up to on this. What is a pretty miserable Saturday morning, by all accounts. I've got to go into town later on, so like I said, I can't really do this for too long, but I thought I want to get these done out of the way, and I just thought it's a good idea just to get back on the old live stream wagon, isn't it, really? Did anybody watch the latest video, the PBI rules set? If so, what did you think of that? Has anybody played it? Is the other question, I guess. I'm looking for Russian uniform at the moment, not field grey. This is the problem with having World War II paints. It's pretty much everything is just green or brown, which cuts down your choices. Plus, I need one more section for Crossfire, 50mm. You'll be pleased to hear. Excellent, good stuff. Crossfire is a game I've known about it for years and years and years, but I've played my mate's version of it, which was like a moderns version, ultra moderns, and really enjoyed it. I'd like to actually have a go at the original version of it, because I think it's quite innovative, isn't it? In that, but I don't know how useful it will be for. I mean, I don't just Evening Jonas, good to have you on board. I don't know how good it is in solo mode, but because obviously you're kind of reacting to your enemy making a mistake, aren't you, really? But yeah, it's a game I'd like to try out properly. Lots of green and grey colours on said gangsters. Well, to be fair, you know, a lot of them probably would have had green and grey suits. Brown. That's pretty much all you need, isn't it? 1940s fashion. Right, so I'm not sure of your favourite set of rules. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to give these a really light dry brushing on the old these LVTs. I've already got the decals on. I set them last night, so they're all should be sorted. I'm just a bit worried about it being a bit too light, and I don't want it to be a massive dry brush either. Yeah, I think that's coming across okay. Just enough to pick out the edges, that's all I want to do. Just to make it look a little bit faded where the camouflage paint is on as well. And on that Polston gun as well on top of it. Just kind of scruffy them up a little bit. That's the main thing here. That's my main achievement I'm hoping for. So I'm going to give them weathering anyway. Hopefully I'm going to get to that today. I want to get these finished by the end of today if I can, because I'm going out for me. My papa's birthday later on tonight, so I won't get a chance to do them after the day. And like I said, I'm going to go out later on anyway to go and do stuff. How's the weather up in Sweden, Jonas? All right. Hopefully a bit nicer than it is down here in the north of England. Okay, that's looking okay. It's just all I need is a tiny touch of dry brushing on them. I don't need too much. That's the thing. What's everybody else painting out there? Also, hit that like button. You should know the practice by now. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. So I hope everybody has had a good Christmas and a good New Year, whatever it was you got up to, or whatever it is you celebrate out there in streaming land. I had a relatively quiet one, to be honest. I don't know if you've seen the update I did for the stuff that I got over Christmas. I got a new route expansion this week in the post. That's really been about it. It's been a bit quiet for hobby pickup stuff. I'll do a hobby update tomorrow at some point, but it's going to be probably quite a short one, I think. I didn't know if this would be a quiet chat or not. If you're all out there, give us a shout out if you're out there in Chatland. Just say hello. But these were the ones, I don't know if you missed it at the start, but these are the ones Richard Hogg sent through to me, 3D printed from Bergman on the internet. He's a guy that's made loads of lots of weird 15mm scale vehicles, and they're very, very nice. Resin printed as well, for those that are wondering. But yeah, as I don't own a 3D printer myself, it's always good to know somebody who does, or at least somebody who wants to send stuff through to you. Also as well, in other news, I got the guys over at excuse me sorry about that, the guys at Bello Ludi, they got in touch and asked if I wanted to have a look at some of their rules for a review. So they're sending those through. Very quick off the mark. Hopefully they'll come through soon enough. Looking forward to seeing them, because I've been looking slightly at their First World War rules anyway, just to have a look at them. So it's nice that they decided to send me some out. So looking forward to seeing them. I don't know if anyone else has played them. Oh, look, let me know if you have. Well, yeah, horrible amounts of snow mixed with 2 to 3 days of rain. No need to go to the gym anymore. Best bit of Christmas in my is a metal box of the posh shortbread biscuits. They're delicious. Be excellent for storing figures. Absolutely. Everything has two uses when it comes to wargaming, doesn't it? Yeah, it's always good to hang on to the old biscuit boxes if you can. All right. Yeah, I think I've got just the right amount of dry brushing on these. I'm quite happy with the amount that there is on there. I don't want to do too much. I don't want it to be too overpowering. It's saying paying for chain of command is next on the list. You have to get more Road Group Germans done for Marie to use in the game at the club. She doesn't care you back. She's obviously enjoying it, Helen. That's good to hear. Yeah, get her onto chain of command next. Yes, I still think back fondly to that game at CrackCon. So it was good. It was good fun. Right, so these are the particular LVTs with the 20mm auto cannon on them. The Marine, I've got some for the Marines, but they've only got the 50 cal American machine gun on them. These ones are upgraded for use in Europe, by it seems. I know, so it's just something nice, different to have on the table, isn't it? Really. I've got a feeling that I think that Rich and Two Fat Lardies is also working on either a pint-sized campaign or some more stuff for the 1945 Gotterdammerung stuff. So I'm assuming these might make an appearance in there anyway. So that's kind of like that's kind of what's prompted me. Let me just get these done. I'll check chats. One moment. All right, that's them dry brushed as much as I'm going to bother dry brushing them. I've been meaning to ask someone. I'm mad on insisting on using water for the dehumidifier to water down paints rather than tap. Very hard water down here. Am I mad on insisting using water for the dehumidifier to water down paints? No, if you've got hard water. I mean, I've got hard water. I don't really see a difference. It's not very hard water. It's quite hard, but it's not very hard. But it is there. It does leave a residue, but I've never seen a difference. But you know, do whatever works for you. Morning, Mike. Morning, Benjamin. Morning to both of you. Welcome aboard. What are you guys up to? What are you painting? What's currently on your painting tables? What are you currently doing this morning, if anything? Stay hydrated, kids. Okay. Right, that's those bits done. Right, next thing up is tracks. So that's going to be a relatively easy thing to do because they're already half painted, as it happens. So the way I do my tracks is I hit them with black first of all, just an undercoat of black, then Evening No Name 1337, and then I go over them very roughly with Oily Steel by Vallejo, you can see here, and then I'll just give them a wash in Florrie Wash Rust. So that's the final thing from painting the rims on 500 plus Dark Age Anglo-Saxon sheets. You're crazy, absolutely crazy. I don't know how you can do it. It must take hours. It must be like a production line. Mike says you're building an MDF 28mm horse glider. Misread that, horse glider. God, that must be some size, 28mm one. Also, folks, hit that like button. Right, so like I say, literally, it's just a rough thing over here, and I don't mind too much even if I hit the other paintwork because that is just chipping. And also, I'm going to cover it all with weathering anyway later, so it's not going to really see. You're not going to see it too much. You see here, nice and simple. I might do a painting video on these ones for the American ones. Now I've got the first ones done. I might do these. I might do a painting video for these because I'm kind of. Stephen, she says hi. I'm assuming that says sorry. I'm late. Sorry. Don't worry. There's no time. There's no register here. Not like school. But yeah, I might do a painting video on these just to when I do the marine ones, a nice and simple one because they are quite simple to do really, but they are nice little vehicles, something slightly different, and also with the imminent release of the Pacific Handbook for Chain of Command, I think it'd be worthwhile doing something like that. A bit of a tie-in maybe. Sorry I'm late, Legacy. Don't worry, Steve, we got you. No idea I'm going to store it. That's the problem, is the storage. break it into sections, perhaps. That's a Horsa glider, isn't it? Just do it in different sections. And I think that's all you can do, really. But you must be mad. Or just do half of it, and then just put half of it on the table. The front half or the back half. And then you don't even have to do anything, do you? It's half the size already. Right, I am going to speed up my painting with my hairdryer, so I'm warning you now. I'm going to mute the thing because in the past I've done it and it's blown everybody's speakers out. So what I'll do is I want to dry this metal off, so I'm going to use the old hairdryer on it, and so I will mute in a second, but right now I won't do. Let me get in there. But like I said, this is my simple formula for doing these. And if you've got any other kind of rust wash, that would work. I just use the Flory ones, the clay washers. They're just very nice. And as I say, any issues that you have with it anyway, you can just cover them up with weathering. And I notice I've just knackered that the barrel on that machine gun there. So I'll go back and fix that in a second once I've done these. And then I've only got to do the bit of varnishing on them. How long have we been out? 20 minutes so far. It's just a nice way of easing myself back into the live streams as much as anything else. Anybody else got any good plans for the weekend? I'm having a very quiet weekend. I've got a few things I need to do. I need to do tax returns as much as anything else. I always say to myself, yeah, I'll do it in April. 2 weeks before the deadline. I'm still doing it. Always fun. But I paid a lot last year, so hopefully I won't have to pay as much this year. I don't know how it works, but it carries over or something. Anyway, so yeah, at the moment I'm just kind of trying to work my way through my I suppose resin pile at this point. Most of it's 3D printed, I think. I've got quite a few other bits and pieces here and there. I've got a few things I want to do. I think I might start work on some French First World War stuff, simply because I don't have any, and it's something I've never really explored that much wargaming wise. Getting rained on and playing lacrosse. Heading down to the local tabletop wargaming club in about half an hour. Excellent. Cleaning up some 15mm 7-year war Austrians. Good stuff. I'm glad I can be here. Right, so as I say, I am now going to get the old hairdryer out just to get these dried up quickly. So I'm going to mute. So that's why I'll be quiet for a second. And hopefully I should be back. You should be able to hear me again. Let me know if you can't. But yeah, last time I did that I blew everybody's speakers out, so I thought it's probably not a good idea to do it again, is it? Let me just try and fix this barrel back on. Keeps falling off. It fell off when I was putting the figures together, the vehicles together yesterday, and then it just keeps falling off despite me gluing it back on. I don't know what glue is good for resin, actually. That's one thing, if anybody does know. I guess one thing you could do is warm it up and then stick it together when it's melted slightly, but something this small is just going to melt, isn't it? That's the problem. What do you say? Sadly, yes. A very stupid question, perhaps. Would it be an awful idea to use a heat gun to dry paint fast rather than a hairdryer? I don't think so. They're doing the same thing. I think a heat gun might be a little bit too intense. So it may, stuff like this, like resin, for example, would most likely melt under it very quickly, because it's chucking out a lot more heat than your normal hairdryer is, whereas a hairdryer is distributing it across the entire area. And normally what I don't do is I don't put the hairdryer as close to the models as possible when it comes to these resin ones either. Simply for that reason, I don't want them to melt. I try not to do too much of it. On metal, it'd be fine, I reckon. Again, as long as you're not being too judicious with it, I think it'd be certainly fine. But I've seen other people using them on videos and stuff, so they must work. So this is the Florry wash, this is rust, and then this, literally I just daub this over the top of the now painted track. So we've got rust now on top of the metal. So just while I concentrate on getting this on, and then I'm going to paint the C bit in later on, but that'll come in a bit. So what we're saying, I tend to use super glue, but I would be receptive to alternative. Yeah, me too. I generally use super glue. I've not heard anything. It's never not worked for me. The only problem is super glue is quite brittle, and this is a really tiny barrel, so I've got a feeling that it's going to fall off at some point. If it was a much bigger piece, like gluing two sides of a house together or something, I'd be a bit more confident about it. But given that it's literally a tiny little barrel, I don't think it's going to last very long. But we'll see. You see, that's why I'm going to base. I love the Amtrax, you have to say. Good stuff. You don't have to say it, don't worry. Yeah, so like I mentioned that I'm doing these ones. These are British ones, so these have got all the British markings on them. I've got a load of British armour markings for some Churchills that I had that I painted a while back, and I just used those. I thought let's go crazy. And yeah, super snuggle is not always that great. No, it's not. It works up to a point. As I said, the smaller the thing, the less it works. And again, I'm not bothered about the rust going onto the paintwork here, because you are going to get chipping and rusting and stuff as well on the paintwork where things are worn off and stuff gets chipped. So this can be quite messy. I'm not bothered about it. I'm just getting it on, and this is really nice. It looks quite bright when it goes on, but then it dries. When it dries quite dark, so it looks pretty good as well after it's dried. Nearly there. I tried to match the numbers up on the side, the serial numbers, but I don't think I did. I think I put the wrong different numbers, but literally nobody apart from me while I'm doing these at this point is ever going to notice, so I'm going to live with it, I think. There we go, there we go, there we go. Are they 3D printed? Yes, they are. Richard Hogg did them for me. They're resin printed, and they're lovely. He sent me loads of them actually. I think I've got about 8 in total. So I was going to do 4 for the British and 4 for the Americans. So 4 for the Brit. I wanted to do. When I say 8, I mean he's done like 8, full ones, and then 8 in the water ones. I think I'll have to check them all out, but he's done me a huge number of them, and the British ones had the 20mm Polston cannon, or some of them did at least, had the Polston cannon on them, so that's what I'll put on these, and the American ones had the 50 cal on them, so that's what I'm going to do. And because Stu over at Miniature Realms sent me those Marines I'm using them with those which I painted ages ago and I've not gone back to. What I wanted to do was put a load of marines, cut off some of the plastic marine, the resin marines, and put them in so they look like they're actually in the thing itself. I don't have any crew for the British ones yet, but I'm fairly sure I could work it out easy enough. Right, let me just get some of these barrels painted, because I can see where I've gone wrong, and then I'm going to do the old trick of the hairdryer again in a second, and then it's just going to be weathering really, I think. Oh no, there's a few more bits and pieces here and there. Let's just get these barrels painted up so they stand out a bit and they're not dry brushed with green. But yeah, the guy that does these, they were printed for me, but it's a guy called Bergman. I think he's on Thingiverse online, and you can get his stuff for free. He's done tons and tons and tons of vehicles of all types. You know, you name it, he's on pretty much. I'm sure he's probably done it, and I think they're all 1/100 scale, 15 mil. So you can get pretty much any kind you like, any vehicles you like. That's his. Right, so the last couple. Oh, I forgot that gun at the front, the bow machine gun. There we go, there we go, there we go. And nice little bits before I hit this with the old hairdryer again. The good thing about the morning decks, good tag on board. The good thing about the Flory wash is it actually does dry very quickly, which is nice. So hitting it with the hairdryer really speeds it up. I could just stick him on the radiator, because obviously the heating's on because we're in the middle of winter, and that's always a good way of speeding stuff up. But I want to do these quick today, so once again I'm going to mute, so I'll be back in a second. And we're back. I said it before, but last time I did that I blew everybody's speakers out, so I didn't want to do it this time. Right, so that's them pretty much dry, I think. Getting there. So just while those last bits of those dry off, I am going to turn to the bases for the ones that have been finished, because I'm going to first up I'm going to do my the bases on these ones. They still need doing, so there's still a bit of work to do on these, but I want to hit the base of these with some tufts. Current weather report in the Facebook group. Okay, I shall go and check that out. Let's have a look at you. Let's see what you how deep your snow is. How deep is your snow? I've forgotten how slow this computer is. I think I've nearly killed it with downloading Civ 6 onto it the other day. It seems to have started moving pretty slow since then. Blimey, that's amazing. I'm looking at it now. Is the cat enjoying it? That's the most important thing. I love snow though. I can imagine, you know, if you spend a lot of your life under it, then you're probably not so happy with it. But I love snow. I think it's great. Oops, just dropped all my things there. Never mind. And sorry, come back. See what everyone's saying. Just dropped all my my box of grass tufts all over the floor. That was very silly on me. Let's find a couple more to put on. A couple of the smaller ones. These will do. Oh, just pack these back in, sorry. I'm breaking a normal schedule. You can tell I'm not a professional. And there we go. Get them back in there. Right. Last couple of these. Forecast is pretty awful. How deep is your snow? New song by the Bee Gees. Exactly. A classic. A classic one. That's those done. I think I'll stick with that. That'll do. I can always add some more later on when the tanks are actually on the bases themselves. I'll stick them to one side now. It's because I'd knocked some of the grass off on the base, so I just wanted to cover it up where I'd made a mistake. Story of my life, basically. Right. Okay, so as I say, we now. I don't know if you can see so well on the screen there, but the rust is pretty dry, and it's gone a lot darker and more rusty. 1 second, I still just need to turn off, mute on again, just so I can. There's a little bit here that's still dry, and I just want to get these finished. So I'll be back in a second. Right, there we go. Nobody does it better. Ain't no business like snow business. Right, how many snow related puns can we get? Let me see. Is this one a softer one? I need a softish brush for my for the next stage, which is now the weathering. So I'm just going a bit. I'm not going to do too much weathering on these because as they would have just come out of water, they're probably not going to be too filthy, but they are going to have tide marks where they've come up. So I'm just going to use I call it khaki, but it's not really. It's fawn by Decor Art, I think it is. I'd need to get some of these. I need to get these brushes actually sorted out. That might be a job for some point. They're so knackered and stiff. Either that or just buy a whole load of new ones, because these are absolutely banjaxed at this point because they've been abused. How many snow? I don't snow. Snow, I don't either. Right, where we are? Come on, there, right, there you are. This is a better brush. I want to come something kind of softish. Now, if I can actually find where there's before there. Snow Patrol. So this is Americana paints, but I think Decor Arts also do it. You can get these for next to nothing, and for things like this, it's better than using the Vallejo paints. I mean, I've had this one for years. Excuse me, so it just goes and goes and goes. If there's any left in it, he says. see, let's get the top off. There we go. It's obviously blocked overuse. There's not much of that left. I'll probably need to buy some more of this actually at some point. Right. Don't forget, folks, if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. Also, hit that subscribe button as well. Get more nonsense like this in future. So yeah, this is it's kind of like a khaki colour, slightly lighter than khaki, I would have said. Snow themed puns, droves of them. Got to run. Cheers, man. Enjoy the club, and you're painting your shields. Right, so obviously basically where the track is and where it's going to throw up a load of crap around the track. So I'm just hitting the edge of that armour as well. So that's where most of the stuff is going to get thrown up. The filth and the muck, and then also up the back end as well, as it goes through the muddy Rhine. So this is a nice. I always like the weathering bit. Then I'm gonna spray varnish these, and then I think these ones at least are done. I need to do the bases of the other ones, so I'll do those next. But they're going to take a little while to dry because I'm going to use Nuln oil on them just to try to make it look like water. I don't want them blue because water isn't blue unless it's a really bright blue day. And since this was happening these were crossing the rivers in winter, I don't think the rivers are going to be very blue, are they? So that's the first one done. So nice and easy, really, this. And it's just enough, especially for 15mm. You could do all kinds of stuff like chipping and streaks and things like that. I could go mad with them, but I never bother really with this scale because you're just trying to create a bit of an impression. Because, at 3 foot away anyway, you're never going to see individual chips and things on a 15mm figure. Not to my mind anyway. You look at photos of tanks, then and now, and the paint is pretty hard wearing on most of them, to be honest. You very rarely, most tanks are very rarely in action anyway for long enough to get as damaged as some people paint them. But it's all artistic impression, isn't it? Artistic license at the end of the day. And it does look good, but let's say for 15mm tabletop models, I'm not that fussed. I'm just happy to get them mucky, so they look alright. Who we got out there anyway? You're all very quiet in chat. Give us a shout out. Tell me you're still alive, if nothing else. Who is out there? Yeah, if you have to do dozens, you don't have to be over fussy. Now again, quantity has a quality of its own, as I think Stalin was supposed to have said. You're not looking at the individual when there's a lot of these things on the table, especially not at 15mm. Like, if I'm I do larger models, and when I do those, I do more detail on them because that's a display piece, and you want to see a bit of detail. You want to have a little bit of fun with it as well. These tabletop difference. Yeah, quite chuffed with those, how they turned out. Let's give these a tiny bit more, just to emphasise it a little bit. Throw them up there. Struggling to devise and paint 30s fashions. Why isn't there a uniform guide I can mindlessly copy? Yeah, that's always my problem with painting civilians. I could just never. If it's uniform, it's great, easy, just follow it. But yeah, coming up with different ideas. Just search colour pictures of the 1930s. There'll be plenty out there. Most people, it seems, wore black suits, black, grey, and brown suits. All right, I know that is that's generalising. I seem to recall a recent news article, LTV4, about being an LTV4. Yes, it was. Yeah, Lincolnshire. Apparently, there's loading buried somewhere there. Yeah, there's. It's been restored, I think. Dex. It was brought up, and I can't remember the name of it, who was involved or whatever. But yeah, it was quite famous a while back. Everybody on Twitter was banging on about it. Hey, I've nearly done these. So I wanted to do a hobby update tomorrow as well, and I wanted something to show for it. So that's what this is. That's what's happening here. It was a rush to get stuff done. Right. Okay, that's them washed up. Keep meaning to rewatch the Untouchables. To be honest, Untouchables would be perfect, really. They've already done the work for you. They've done the research on the 1930s fashions. Right. Now it's time to paint these bases, and I'm doing these in. I'm going to do them in field blue, I think. That's a very dark blue. Has it been used a Wallachian or the Rhine landings too? Had it been used? I'm not sure, to be honest, Dex. I don't know too much about it. I know that it had been found and had been excavated. But yeah, what its service was, I don't know. There you go, that's your homework for next Thursday. Are you looking forward to starting up on the Curse campaign? I certainly am. I think it's going to be great. The first, I don't know if you've read the first scenario, but it's a real tough one for the German attackers. That's me. But it's going to be interesting because I want to see how it works, because I've played it before. Got to go. See you later, Jonas. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the photos of the cat. I want to see. When I first played it, I'd not really played a great deal of Chain of Command. There's a lot of stuff in the rules I couldn't remember, like going, what's the word? Going tactical and things like that, and using smoke and stuff. So this time, I think it's going to be a different kettle of fish, at least from my point of view. Whether I win it or not, yes, to Kursk looks good, yeah. I'm gonna have to read up on it. I'm gonna make some. I'm going to try to make some platoon rosters as well to make things a little bit easier for us set up, because I think they're pretty simple. But I should have everything that the Russians require in their support lists. I'm fairly sure I do. I'll check through. But yeah, it should be good. Looking forward to it. The last one was excellent. Did you enjoy the game of Chain of Command on Thursday, Dex? Initial boards do look quite open. Yes, they do, and they are. Stephen says he's not got them yet. We're doing the 18th century. Fair enough. I don't want to squeeze the top of this paint too much, because it'll all splurge out. See if I can get it off. Some in the club are using them for World War One. What's that? Chain of Command? Yeah, it's good. It's good for First World War. Yeah, the game with Gary was good, but again, board was too open. Yeah, it's a challenge. can be a challenge, especially when the Germans are defending, because they've got so much firepower. It can be a bit, but then, you know, that's why you bring in the big guns. Get your Shermans on. Almost done here. Just want to get these last bits finished, and then I can get into town and get the stuff done that I need to do as well. A busy day today. One up folks, got a couple of questions there. Oh, bloody hell. Right. Ooh, let me just get rid of them bubbles. What are we all saying? What's a period of gaming you could game but don't? What's a period you can't game but would like to? They're interesting questions. A game that period of gaming you could game but don't. I suppose not really a period, but I've got a load of Blood Bowl stuff, and that hasn't seen the light of day for a long time. Second edition Blood Bowl. I kind of bought it as a bit of a nostalgia trip over a decade ago, and just painted everything because I couldn't afford that stuff when I was a nipper. So that's something that I've got, but I never play. Just because I think the rules are pretty clunky. I know there's like third edition, and even the modern version is much better, but I'm not that bothered about pursuing it. I think, like I say, it was more of a nostalgia thing for doing it in the second edition stuff because I couldn't afford them when I was a nipper. So that's something that I could game, but I don't. I don't have. I generally game pretty much everything that I've got. I generally try to get it on the table at some point. And what's a period you can't game would you like to? Again, there's not a great deal that I don't game that I don't already want to. I generally just do First World War, Second World War, Napoleonics, and a few other bits and pieces, Star Wars and Judge Dredd, and that's about it. Because that's what I like. I'm not that interested in gaming the other ones, really. I'm not that fussed about. Because to me, wargaming is all about history, and if I'm not particularly interested in the history of something, or I don't understand the history of a period, I'm not that fussed about gaming it. I mean, I'll play games down at the club, different games of different periods when they come up. Like I played AK-47 with decks and things, and I played other stuff. I'm trying to think what, like Saga and things like that. And but you know, I'm happy to join in games. But as for me going out of my way to put them on the table, it's not something that I'm particularly bothered about doing because I already do the stuff I like doing. I'm quite not closed-minded, but I'm quite tunnel vision with my wargaming in that way. I guess that's probably the way to say it. Right, what I'm going to do is I've got these done, and I can't do any more now until this blue is dry. Well, actually, all I can do is I can mute you all again, and I can just go on to I can do a blast of the old hairdryer, and then I can just what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Nuln oil on these, and then probably just give them a bit of a white brush of a whiter colour, just to break them up a little bit. I kind of like that dark bluish grey colour that I've used there. That looks more like a river than a real light blue. So what I'm going to do then is I think I'm apart from that I'm pretty much done with these. Those ones are done. These ones are nearly done. So I'm just going to mute you again while I hit the get the old hairdryer out. And we're back. You're the same with a Franco-Prussian. It looks nice, but it's a lot of figures that will hardly be used. Yeah, I mean, I'd happily play it. More than happy to play it, but actually starting a collection and, you know, like you say, basically, you know, you're starting from scratch almost. I just can't. Not for me. You know, if somebody else wanted to lay on a game of it, please do. But don't expect me to paint anything for it. Is the long and short of it. Looking good. O Group, I presume. There's two of them. O Group, Chain of Command, whichever really. I've not really decided on it yet. Yeah, Dex. I've actually got two more of them, so I could make a troop out of them if I wanted to. That'd be what? A company, wouldn't it, I think? If each one is carrying a section. So, yeah, I've not decided yet. Dex, I'm kind of... they will find their true path at some point. But yeah, I'd like to have a look at some of the 1945 stuff with the British crossing the Rhine and the attacks into Germany. And I mentioned it earlier, but I don't think you were here. But I think Rich Clark is looking at doing some of the Gotterdammerung stuff, and I think he's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a paint-sized campaign or if it's even going to be a handbook or anything like that. But he's looking at that stuff. So these things may appear at some point on the old tabletop. So he's saying, I've been a lot more productive with painting since I decided to focus on 15mm World War II. Also, it's made a lot simpler to make terrain, etc. Yeah, exactly. It's just making things. Initially, I thought you might be gearing up. Well, I've got some more. You see, I've got some other ones which I'm going to do as marine ones. As I say, Richard sent. I think I've got 8 of each type. The ones in the water, ones on the land. So I'm going to do some American marine ones next. Well, I just wanted to start these ones. These were the ones with the 20mm Polston. So I thought, right, British, that'll do me. British LVTs. And then I'm going to do the American ones as well. But they are going to get done later. Right, so they are done with the Agrax. Right, I'm going to stick them onto the radiator behind me. Focus helps, absolutely. Focus everything. I've just realised that I've got these Germans as well here. So what I could do, carry on for a little bit longer. I've kind of got a day off today, so I've got a few things I need to do. I'm actively avoiding doing my taxes. That's really what I'm doing here now. if we're going to be honest. And then, so I'll let them dry. Those two are done. Yeah, focus always helps. And then I've got these Germans here that I haven't actually done anything with. German First World War gun crew. Can I be bothered? Can I be bothered, or should I do them later on? I don't know. I might come back to them. I don't know if I feel a little bit like I'm rushing them if I just charge in now, I think. So yeah, actually I am gonna leave it at that because I do have other things to do, and I'll come back to these later this evening, I think. Before I go out, because I've not decided on the colours on them yet, and there's only 8 of them. It's only a small number. Right, I shall leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. So I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to be doing this live stream this week, simply because I'm at a funeral, so I won't be around for that, and because I was supposed to be talking to the guys from Modelling for Advantage as well, so we've shoved that back a week. But I'm going to try to do some more live streaming at some point in the future. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. It's been emotional, and I shall see you all in the next Stone Steel video or live stream.